My name's Mandy Thompson. I work as a horticulturist and visitor programs officer at the Australian Garden. I'm passionate about connecting people with the natural world. I'd really like to see more eucalyptus used in the home garden.
My name's Trevor Seppings. I'm a horticulturist at the Australian Gardens. I love native plants of this vast, beautiful country. Saying that, my real passion lies with the genus Eucalyptus, Corymbia and Angophora. It's a good idea to look after an establishing eucalyptus tree, especially through the first years of hot, dry summers. Now the best way to do this is to water directly around the establishing root ball, making sure the water penetrates the soil, giving the tree a good soak to encourage deep root growth. Once a tree starts putting on new growth like this, your tree is starting to establish itself. From the very beginning, it is far better to choose your eucalyptus species carefully, matching the growing conditions in your home garden.
It would be good to use a seaweed-based liquid fertiliser within the first year just for establishment, about once a month.
When establishing a eucalyptus tree, staking a tree correctly is important. Ensure each stake is placed outside the root zone. Check that the stake and the ties are not causing any mechanical damage. Check that the tree can move so as to create some wind resistance to give it strength. And monitor and remove the stake once the tree can support itself, usually during the first year. It is important to remove any competition from around the establishing plant as feeder roots form within the first 30 centimetres of the soil. Remove any weeds and grasses from around a ½ metre radius of the trunk.
There are many benefits to mulching underneath your eucalyptus tree, not just for weed suppression, but actually to retain the moisture and the nutrients for longer. This helps all the beneficial insects and worms to do all the good work for the root system.
Pruning is unnecessary for young eucalyptus, but choose a tree with good form, a strong leader for an upright tree or a multi-trunked for a mallee species. When pruning at height, always consult an arborist. Some eucalyptus are what we refer to as mallee species. They can naturally resprout from a lignotuber at the base of their trunk. It is possible to coppice a mallee to encourage multi-trunking, but be sure not to cut into the lignotuber. The tree canopy should have full sun and avoid planting where there may be canopy interference in the future.
If you find that possums are browsing the canopy, you can create a plastic sheath like this, wrap it around the tree. You can pick them up at your local hardware store and that'll just physically prevent the possum from being able to access the canopy. Livestock, rabbit and deer can sometimes browse on a young euc, so protect it with a plastic guard such as this at the juvenile stage.
The best way to keep your establishing eucalypt free of pests and disease is to provide an environment for it to thrive. Eucalyptus have evolved their own built-in pest and disease resistant mechanisms, shedding bark, hormonal, chemical responses. The most common pests are caterpillars and lerps. These insects are usually not a problem in small numbers and will encourage wildlife such as birds into your home garden. If there is a large infestation, then investigate the environment the tree is growing in. Is it growing in well-drained soil? Does it have adequate access to water, nutrients and light? It will only become susceptible to pest and disease attack if it is weak. Healthy trees don't get sick.
There are so many fascinating small eucalyptus species in Australia. I hope this tour excites and inspires people to grow some in their own backyard.